Whatever. I'm just gonna fucking choose this. Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Send It Casual back again with another video. I know, you guys have been probably waiting for the Xenoverse 2 video of the male Majin at the new highest, level thing that I can do. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know if that video is ever coming. I mean, like, it's not that I want to disappoint y'all, but at the same time, like, Jesus Christ, it takes so long to get the tokens. I can't even remember what they are. Are they medals? Like, I haven't played that game in so long. It takes so long to get all the medals required to level up with Salk or whatever his fucking name is, that Namekian guy that will level you up to get to max level. And I'm not gonna lie, it's boring. It's boring grinding that game, especially trying to play the missions against Broly with people not using the male Majin build that I created. And I'm always carrying the teams, and I'm just bored of it. I'm bored. I'm bored of people not optimizing stuff, and I'm bored of how long it takes, especially playing with people who aren't optimizing their builds and all that stuff. So, fuck it. I don't know when that video is coming. I'm sorry to disappoint, but anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about this game, One Piece Pirate Warriors 2, or sorry, 4. Oh man, what am I talking about? More so just to rant. I've been talking mad crap about the DLC and the characters that they've released in this game on all of Bandai Namco's like videos related to One Piece, and they just don't seem to get the gist. So I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna make my own video. I could do that. I can do whatever I want. So here we are. We got our first list of DLC. I don't have all the DLC, but I know about all of them, so I'm gonna talk about them anyway. And honestly, I feel like the characters in this game. I love this game, by the way. Love 3 a little bit more, but 4 is different, but it's still good in its own way. But first thing we have starting off is Smoothie. So Smoothie and Cracker are really weird because I am much of a fan of the idea that, hey, every Yonko in this game deserve at least 2 commanders. Big Mom had Katakuri, and that's all she had. Whitebeard had both Marco and Ace. And so us getting Smoothie and or Cracker kind of made sense, but also kind of felt a little left field, especially for Smoothie. Cracker made the most sense to have. But it just kind of feels weird that we got them as a DLC. But anyways, it's just, I don't know. It's weird that we got these 2 characters and they just so happen to be the strongest characters in the game. Just randomly. Like, they're stronger than people in the series that you would assume would be the strongest, like Hybrid Kaido and all of them. They are stronger, without a doubt. Smoothie probably has the biggest AoE, attacks and damage, like, in the entire, out of everybody. And the only reason why Cracker is still up here and competing is the fact that he can literally, like, I don't know if it's a glitch that I found. I have a whole video about him, but you can literally stay in his like armored Cracker form indefinitely. And so you're literally invincible. You literally cannot take any damage. And the only reason why I switch out is to get my full burst mode so I can just attack a little bit faster. But outside of that, he is literally unstoppable. But in terms of obviously this game being extremely easy, and you don't really need to be invincible like that, Smoothie has the greatest damage and greatest AoE out of everybody here. So honestly, like I said, I think Cracker makes the most sense. But I can't exactly be like, Smoothie sucks, because she is the most powerful character in this game. I would probably just sacrifice one, in which case it would be Smoothie, but I'm not exactly happy about it. And give us another character that we probably should have gotten. So we'll just add one to the list. So we have one, and then we'll leave Cracker. All right, next, Judge. I don't know who the fuck was like, yeah, I really want to play as Judge. Like, this guy seems like he'd be like a real favored character, and people are really gonna want to play as this guy. I can guarantee you no one had that on their fucking mind. The only reason why he's in this game is because these fuckers are in this fucking game. And honestly, I feel like all of these characters, especially these three, but she's a little bit different, but she could have been made into the same thing as these three, where all of them are just one character. And you kind of swap out between them either via their super attacks or they all just be one character with like a costume change. We basically have 3 extra slots that are wasted on random characters that in game kind of play as one anyway. So I'm like, what the fuck? So we're up to 4 right now, 4 wasted slots, 5 if you when you count Judge. And there's nothing really more to say about this fucker. He's trash as a character. No one wanted him in the first place. X Drake, I don't know why he's a DLC character. He's a supernova. He should have been included with literally all the other supernovas. Like, what the heck? What are we doing? It should have been like a supernova column or whatever line, bracket specific to them, and a 7 warlords bracket instead of trying to shove these 2 things all in the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. So that kind of goes for X Drake and Roge. So don't know why we had to get them as separate DLC characters, but in my opinion, those are 2 more wasted slots. So what do we got? We're at 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7 extra wasted slots. Now, Killer, I don't have really much to say about Killer, especially because I feel like it kind of makes sense with everything that happened on Wano for us to get the first mate of, you know, Kid and Law. But again, the whole concept, like, if we're gonna get Killer as the first mate of Kid, why don't we have the first mate of Law? Where is Beppo? Why aren't we getting Beppo? Like, I'm not saying remove Killer, but why don't we have Beppo? Now, moving on, Okiku, I'm so pissed about her, or him, whatever you want to say. I'm so pissed about Okiku because Okiku really just is, where is she? Tashigi. Tashigi used to fight almost exactly like Okiku in Pirate Warriors 3, and she actually used to be good. But for some reason, they just decided to make Tashigi absolutely ass in Pirate Warriors 4. And for some reason, instead of just fixing Tashigi, they're like, you know, we're going to come up with a whole new DLC character. For some reason, just to fill that gap that we created for no fucking reason. So, my opinion, Okiku's a waste of a slot. So, I'm sorry. I'm like, as I'm talking about this, it's hard for me to keep count. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think we're gonna have that many more to add, so I'm gonna not count these 2. 6 extra slots that we could have had. Now we have Kienmon. Now I'm not gonna lie, Kienmon is actually kind of unique the way that he plays, and you can like slash the fire and then he'll rain down hellfire, whatever. It's kind of fun, a little bit overcomplicated if you ask me, but I can't sit here and say like, yeah, he's just another character. However, I mean, if we're talking about people with fire abilities, you have a whole emperor in this game with literally 0 of his commanders. Like, they're in the game, you just can't play as them for some dumb reason. You have, you know, Jack in this game. I don't know why King's not, I don't know why Queen's not, but at least Jack is in this game. And I don't see any reason why we could not have kept this, you know, trend going with Whitebeard having 2 of his commanders, Big Mom having 2 commanders at the very least. I know they gave him like they gave her 3, but you know we're not counting Smoothie. So why don't we have 2 commanders for Kaido? And in that sense, instead of just completely getting rid of this fire, you know, sword guy, I feel like a perfect person to swap him out with would have been King. So moving on, Odin. Odin, he is unique in the sense that one, he's the only character that fights with 2 swords. Specifically, that's his whole shtick. And my biggest problem with Odin is just the fact that I remember playing with him, and like by the time I got him, I already had so much, you know, those, you know, tokens or whatever they are to upgrade the character and money. So I was able to upgrade him immediately. And even with him completely upgraded, he still felt pretty weak. It wasn't until the soul map came out where I was like, yeah, okay, finally, you know, he feels as strong as he should be. But he was just initially way too weak, even fully maxed out on his regular stuff. And that kind of made me upset for a while. But he's fine now. So I'm going to just ignore that, ignore him, and just say he's good. So we're at 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 extra slots. We already decided he'll be king, but you know, we'll just say 7 for now, and come back to that and say, you know, who I would replace. Then we have Onigashima Luffy, and I don't know why he's not just in a separate costume. You have regular Luffy with all these different costumes, and they were just like, nah, he's gotta be a whole separate character. For why? For why? So he's at 8. There's no reason for him to be a separate character. He should just be an extra costume, a little bonus that they just threw on. You know, we have Hybrid Kaido. Honestly, like, I felt like if we were gonna have Gear 5 Luffy, that Hybrid Kaido, we should have a, you know, fully fledged permanent Gear 5 Luffy. But whatever, you know, I get it. Lore wise, makes sense. Sure. Hybrid Kaido. There's no reason for him to be a separate character. He should just be like Luffy, a separate costume at most, if not just an extra super skill that he gets where he can turn into his hybrid form. Because you've got, you know, regular Luffy that can go Gear 4 Bounce Man and Gear 4 Snake Man and practically just keep bouncing back and forth between those. So why the heck can't Kaido just keep going from his full dragon form to his hybrid dragon form back and forth? Like, there's no need for him to be a whole separate character. At most, if you really wanted to do something, make him an extra costume, but not an extra character. So what are we at? 9 now. Yamato, honestly, Yamato's a pretty good character in my opinion. My only issue with Yamato is the fact that I feel like there were a lot more characters we probably should have gotten before Yamato. Like, if Yamato was just like an extra add-on when we had everybody that we should have, I wouldn't complain at all. But I'm just like, hey, there are a lot more characters stapled to the series that we didn't get, that I'm like, why are you adding Yamato? Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, I don't have all the DLC. After the Gear 5 Luffy, I was like, that's pretty much it for me. I don't care to really get any of the rest of them because the devs of this game are just being stupid. They will release anything other than like good DLC for this game, and they won't come out with Pirate Warriors 5. So here I am to toil, and I'm not going to keep giving them money because it's going to keep incentivizing them to make dumb decisions. You know, who's next? They're going to create a DLC and release Django. No, I'm not doing that. So, but the next DLC is the Film Red DLC with Uta, Shanks, and Kobe. And so for Uta, honestly, like I said, you know, as you guys can see, I've never played as Uta, but I have watched the game footage. She's unique, so I can't really say much about her. She seems unique enough to kind of be justified, but again, I kind of put her in the same category as Yamato, where I'm like, why are we getting this random other character when there's so many other characters that we should have gotten prior to. So let's recount real quick. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just gonna ignore her. Then we have Uta, Shanks. Shanks should have been just an extra costume for the Shanks that we already had. So that's 10. And then Kobe. Kobe, I'm kind of in the same boat with, like I said, Yamato and Uta, and the fact that he's unique enough to kind of justify adding him to the game, but at the same time, I would probably prefer another character. So we're at 10, and the next DLC is Roger, Rayleigh, and Garp. Now Garp is already a character in this game, so why the hell is he not in this game already? Why is he not just one of the characters? He was in Pirate Warriors 3, you can play him in Pirate Warriors 3, but for some reason, they saw this abysmal Marine roster, and they were like, that's good enough. That's good enough. We're not gonna add anything like extra to the space game. Like, what the hell are you guys thinking? Garp definitely should have been a part of the base game, at least in his old man form. If he wanted to release a DLC, then he should have just been an extra costume for the main Garp. So Garp makes that 11. You have Roger, who is just a stronger Shanks, so he doesn't really necessarily bring anything unique to the fight. And honestly, with all things said and how early they kind of stopped the, the story mode in this game, they didn't even have a Gear 5 embedded into the storyline. I feel like we could have probably went one more game without Roger being released. And kind of the same thing with Rayleigh. Rayleigh is just a weaker Roger and a slower, fast swordsman. We already have Cavendish. We already have Brooke. We already have Killer. Rayleigh isn't bringing anything unique to the fight. So why add him? You just have all of these single swordsmen, guys with hockey. And the biggest reason why I even allowed Odin's, because he at least is using 2 different swords. It's not much, but I'm willing to grant him that. So we're at 12. 12 practically wasted slots that could have been great characters. So the first and foremost that I would do is I would get all the most important ones out of the way, and which are my Supernovas and my Warlords. So first and foremost, for counting her and then adding all these 3 in here, Warlord 1, Moria, Warlord 2, Kuma. Boom. Now we have all 7 Warlords. I'm pretty sure that's all 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to count Buggy. So yeah, all 7 Warlords, we're good to go. That leaves one more extra, and that would be my other Supernova, which is Apu, which totally should be in this, but for some reason it's not. And I don't see the idea that music cannot be a combative thing, because we literally have Brooke in this game, and all of his attacks do that to some degree. So for my first 3, I would fill out the rest of my 7 Warlords roster and my Supernova roster. Boom, they're done. Now for Smoothie, since we already have, Cracker as the second commander of Big Mom, I would probably make her the second commander of Kaido. So we have Queen as Smoothie, and then King for Kianmon. Kiku. Who would I replace Kiku with? Well, hold on. Let's back up. Let's replace Judge. Judge would definitely be Enel. I would definitely have Enel. I mean, honestly, they mention Skypiea in this. So, where is it? Glossary. Yep, here. They literally mentioned Skypiea, and in the background is Enel's, Arc Maxim. So why couldn't they have Enel in here? They are severely lacking a fighter that has electric base ranged attacks. I know they have Ichonji or whatever, the blue guy of Santri's family, and they have Judge. But first of all, like I mentioned, no one gives a crap about Judge. No one wanted Judge, and he's more of like a melee fighter versus Niji. He's more of a melee fighter. I know you do have Carrot, but like they didn't even give her Sulong form as like a definitive transformation, so that's not really cutting it. I think there's anyone really else in here that has lightning base attacks that would fill the same kind of attack uniqueness that Enel does. So that should definitely have been a thing, and that would have been definitely interesting to hear his dialogue with a lot of these characters. So now we're at Okiku. I don't know. Who would I replace Okiku with? He's a fast swordsman. I probably replace her with Kaku. Because why do we only have Lucci? That doesn't make any sense. Like, at the very least, like, of all the CP9 people, give us Kaku as well, just to add that roster. And I don't know why he's under the other. He really kind of should be under the... This should just be World Government instead of Marine, because of how little people you guys have in here. But yeah, I would say Kaku for Okiku. And then we still have at least 2 more slots. No, we have a lot more slots. Who would I replace? Who would I add in here? I mean, with all the extra slots, we could probably fill out a lot more of the Emperor commanders. So, Vista for Whitebeard. Sure, we can add Smoothie back in. And for, let's say, Shanks, Film Red Shanks, we can have Burgess for Blackbeard, Van Auger for... We'll skip Kobe for now. For Roger and probably Shisui for... Not Shisui. What is the invisible guy's name? You guys know what I'm talking about. Shiryu of the Rain. And replace him with Rayleigh. And there you go. You have, your main commanders, all 3 commanders. And like I said, Vista's in this game already, so I don't know why that would be a hard ask. But yeah, like, you guys can kind of get the gist of, like, all the terrible characters that they added to this game. And the poor choices that they've made for this game. This game could be so much better. Like, we got an awakened Luffy, but they never even gave us an awakened Law or an awakened Kid. Like, what are you guys doing? But they keep dropping, Bounty Rush updates every fucking day. No, like, and now there's like some new card mobile game or whatever that no one gives a fuck about. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, please either give us some DLC. Like, I would take an Enel, Moria, and Kuma DLC over a Pirate Warriors 5, because honestly, I would love to play like an Enel in this game that can use Mamoragan like full scale, because obviously everything is scaled extremely down in Pirate Warriors 3, where everything is scaled a lot more up in Pirate Warriors 4. to be a little bit more realistic to the scope of everybody's power in this game. And I feel like that would be dope to actually have a super skill of Mamoragan and Elthor, you know, that just blasts across the entire map and stuff like that. That would be dope. But no, what do? They just keep making the stupidest decisions, like adding Judge to this game. And with that, I'm fucking done with my rant.